Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Zwift Community Live broadcast of the CVR World Cup League Race Zone E. We're into the final race today. 8 races so far. It's your best 6 out of 8. And, well, 7 races, excuse me, so far. 8, the 8th race today. And it's coming down to the final points competitions today throughout the day. Now, this is not the only zone racing. There are 8 in total. And across all the A brackets, people are battling out for a invite to a live final for $100,000 plus prize pool battle in the live final that will be in Los Angeles. So I do have with me today for the men's and the women's racing, Quentin LaFay joining us for the CVR World Cup race. And Quentin, I think we got you here live with audio. Let's see what's happening. How you doing, Quentin?
Yeah, hi everyone. Well, it's good, and very excited to be following that race. It's going to be very exciting. We have 60 riders in the A category, just the A category right now, and yeah, very exciting race that we have with the duel for first place. Kim
Now,
Little,
is that
Mathieu
still up for
Drujon.
grabs? Is that still up for
It is,
grabs then?
yeah, it's still very much up for grabs. The math is very simple, actually. If they come in the top 5, the first one to cross the line is going to be the series winner, and that's just as simple as it gets. First one in the top 5 is going to win the series.
Wow. All right. So it's coming right down to today. Now we're out on the road to Ruins, the expansion, one of the most recent expansions, excuse me, of the Watopia course, not the most recent expansion out on Zwift. The most recent expansion is the new London course with some of the Prudential Ride London stuff. But out on Watopia, we are on the road to Ruins, where we head on over toward the Jungle Loop. We will be doing the backside of the Watopia mountain climb just until the right-hand turn to the level 10 only gate that heads on over into the ruins, the old Aztec ruins. Now, this section on course is definitely an interesting section, as it's the climbing here is kind of punchy. It's very sharp for a very short period of time.
Special.
Go ahead, Quentin.
It's we talked about it a little bit this morning with Kim and Casey during the Zone B race, and thing is, the first part of the climb is basically the bottom of the mountain. So you expect it mentally, you're used to it being the beginning of a very long climb, so you tend not to want to give everything you got, but it's as long as the reverse KOM on the hill. So it's a balance between a climb being short at 3-4 minutes, always very steep, but at the same time you don't want to give everything you got because you're so used to it being just the beginning of the climb. So it's a little bit in between the two, and definitely maybe the only point when you can actually make a real difference, because afterwards you have that very long climb out of the ruins, which is hard, but not as hard at this one. And afterwards it's just like some bumps here and there, but it's pretty much flat until the end afterwards. So it's very early, but at the same time it's the only place when you can make things happen. So
it's a very short course, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, the last time we were on here for a KISS race, I believe it was about a 40-minute finish. That was Tim Cartwright, the last time that this was raced, I believe, out on Zwift. A little bit earlier this week. I think it was on Sunday, maybe a little bit before that. But
yeah, you're not taking too much risk by saying Cartwright won.
So
yeah, it might have been Cartwright. You get one chance out of two to be right. But yeah, it's a very fast course and a very short race, actually, and it's going to be very intense too.
Now I am seeing some interesting names in here, actually, jumping in. Mike Davis is actually out here racing. Now, is this actually Mike Davis? I don't see Team Draft in the name, so maybe it's a different M. Davis. Excuse me. I'm going to look through and see if that is who that is. But we do see Kim Little. Now, it is a battle here today. We've been talking about this a lot, and it is Kim Little out on course, and I believe we should see Matthew Drujan. Drujan is out there, as he is, and these are the two, 1 and 2, battling out currently. There's nobody else that can come close to them in the points right now.
Exactly, and the thing is, Team Experimental actually showed up in force. We have Casey Shum, we have Sean Gray, we have Michael Potzeline, the very famous now teammate of Kim Little. And I think there's a couple of other Team Experimental riders who jumped in the race. So a lot of riders jumped in to help Kim take the win. And that's how much they fear Mathieu Drujon as a rider. They have to be 4 or 5 to get up against him. And that's going to be a very interesting race because basically in the A category, that's the only place still up for grabs, the difference between first and second. But actually, I think there's going to be one very wild card today, and that is Andrei Solomenikov that I'm seeing. So he might be just a name, but this guy has been a pro for over 10 or 12 years. And he's won some big races. He was in the reserve Katyusha team, and he's a strong guy if there's ever been one. And he might be one of the wildcards today.
So that may actually be first race. How do we say it? Solomenikov? Let me look at the name there real quick. I lost them there for a second.
Solomenikov.
Okay,
it's not too hard, this one. You just have to follow the letters.
It's not too hard, Nathan. Don't worry about it. Not too hard at all. Solomenikov. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Quentin. I got that
just
one.
Like the rider are almost there at the bottom of the climb now.
They are almost at the bottom of the climb. Hopefully, they stay on course as well. And the wild card there, definitely going to be watching out for the Russian rider there and see if he is able to make a little bit of an upset here today. Let's jump into the women's racing now. We do have some attacks as they do make their way out of the underground here. And you do see Kirsty Hoyle now on the attack on the front end of the race with Burrows here. Then it is going to be Carissa Min from Team TFC as well. Asprheim is there, and then Valabach. And then it will be Kona Bear, who most likely is unstoppable on the series for the points, unless I'm incorrect there, Quentin.
Yeah, Carrie Conabear pretty much won the series. I mean, out of her 6 best, she has almost the most points you can get. So in this last race, pretty much everyone knows that she's won the series. She has yet to punch a ticket to Los Angeles, but as of about the series, it's pretty much done. The only question is she willing to go to Los Angeles or not? But basically, she won the series, and it's all up to her now.
Yeah, for sure. And the attacks are starting, though, in the women's race. We'll have to see if Kona Bear does accept that invitation. Now, she has competed already in other CVR World Cups. I believe she was at London. Was she at Paris as well, Quentin?
Yeah, she was. In Paris, she had a little bit of a technical difficulty, I think, in the first race, in the first series, but she made up for it the next day by winning the performance bracket. She won all 3 stages, and as of now, she's the only racer who won the 3 races of a CVR World Cup final out of the 4 races.
Gotcha.
She actually is, because nor the men or the elite women won all 3. Even Rachel Elliott didn't win the 3 races, the 3 stages of her series. She actually won only 1. And Kerry is the only one to have been able to win 3 back-to-back races.
Well, the attacks are starting left and right here. We'll see if she can take the W out here today. With Kirsty out there, she might have a little bit of trouble. Now, I think Kristen Falk has decided not to show, knowing that it will not matter for the overall. Now, does that affect Kristen's, Kristen Falk been battling it out here in this series, but is unable to take the overall. Is that going to impact, though, whether or not she can battle it out for the second place between second and third.
Well, I don't think so. I mean, she's pretty far up in the results for the women's race, and I mean, Barbado was the really far, and Kirsty Hall was number 4, and she's
Yep.
2 races back. So Kristin will be second anyway. So I mean, she didn't have any interest any interest in showing up today, as she might be just maybe saving some energy for the Ecrit on Thursday. Maybe in the back of her mind, or maybe just recovery after 7 weeks of hard racing. She's done the first 7 races, and she might just need some recovery.
Yeah, now we are seeing Kristen Falk not out there today. So Carrie here maybe taking advantage of that on the attack on the uphill hill 4% gradient. Now we are having a lot of attacks in the men's race. They're so crazy fast. I can't keep them on screen. We are working on getting a ride car out on course here. I will get that going ASAP. As soon as we do, we should be able to avoid some of these hiccups until we can get to the bottom of this horrendous bug we can't seem to kick with a Zwift immune system here. But Kim Little here, Adam Webb, Casey Shum. Now, Matthew going up the climb was on full-on attack mode, actually, and actually had about a 7-second gap over the top before they hit the turn into the Road to Ruins here. As we do head into the Road to Ruins, though, we have a counterattack from Casey Shum and Kim Little here, and Drujan was put on the back foot for a moment there. Norway chasing things down here with Vidar Mail from the KRT team. Now, KRT, not involved in that break, are going to be fully motivated to bring this back. We'll see if they can do so, though. One Love is off the front, though, with Kim and Shum. Now, you were talking about this last week. Adam Webb seems to kind of be, and One Love kind of seem to be the, like, wild card. I'll work for this team or that team or the other team on any given day. Quentin, do you have any backstories there or something?
Well, I don't know. I mean, from what I understood talking with Adam about this team is that their philosophy is to be in every attack that they can be in, and so far we can see that if there's a big attack from Team X or from Innovation, One Love is going to be there by following their philosophy of being on the attack. And we thought that he was with Mathieu when he attacked. He was with Kim and Casey when they attacked. So by following their team philosophy, they are put at the front. And well, I was kind of expecting that he would show some love to his former teammate and help him out a little bit. But I think that's going to go down the stretch, I think. But very fast first climb. Definitely all the riders trying to make the other ones hurt. And the pack is now like 20 guys, and that was a very fast climb.
Very, very fast. Absolutely insane. And we do see it's only 12:28 in, and they're already into the Roads to Ruins here. Now, Solomon Nikov here, as you were saying, with that KOM jersey, it looks like that he grabbed on the warm-up. Only 139 beats per minute. 166 here from Vander. Edinger here, 165. Kim Little, 150 beats per minute. I think things are calming down a little bit, but has the Russian rider Solomonenkov been any other races recently that we could compare his results out on Zwift against other riders? It'd be interesting to see.
I don't think so. I didn't see any, but I saw him on the attack already. Well, he's actually on the attack right now. As I think, Kim and Adam are already on the attack again.
Yeah, we are seeing Kim Little here pumping up into 8 watts per kilogram with an aero power up on the downhill. Getting a little bit of a gap, actually. We do see Webb trying to chase that down as well. That aero power up definitely being used correctly on this section to break things apart. And he is on a full-on attack, actually. Webb going right along with him, 12 watts per kilogram. Stefan here, Kiwi, out of France, trying to follow things up, maybe giving his countrymen a little bit of a wheel to hang on there. Zhujian trying to hang on. It's 41 miles per hour on the downhill. We also seeing from up ahead, Kim Little currently 37. They'll be caught very quickly. Were they able to drop anybody off is a question there. Only open up the gap to the chasers that did not make this lead group, it looks like, as we are seeing Little again attacking 8 watts per kilogram, going off the front again, as we can see. At the front here now, Gray, though, may be the one to try and break things apart. And it looks like Team Experimental have showed up to continually attack off the front here. Gray's off the front, Shum is off the front, but the question is, are they trying to steal some points and get away from anybody who could catch Kim Little? Is that how that could work today here, Quentin? Could they steal points away?
Well, yeah, they can steal points away, but in the end, like we said earlier, just 2 guys off the front, it's not a problem for Mathieu because he has to be in the first 5. Okay. So they don't have enough teammates to block him for getting the right points. And actually, if you look at the group, all the other Team Experimental guys have been dropped. And I mean, Porteline has been dropped, Van der Bent has been dropped, and Sean and Casey are the only ones still in there. And there's one other thing. Casey and Sean are registered in other zones than the E group, than the E zone. So they won't steal any points anyway. So even if the 2 are off the front, they can't steal points from Mathieu and Kim. And they won't count in the official results. So they are the 2 of the front. They will win maybe the race. Well, now they're not anymore. But just them being off the front is not useful neither to Kim or even them. So it was a good move to just wait for the pack, I think.
Mm-hmm. It looks like that is what is going on here. They were trying to break things apart, I think, waste a little bit of energy of the other riders or set Kim up, but I think Kim, with that attack on the downhill, maybe didn't think it would stick after attacking before, or decided that he was over effort at this point. Too many attacks in succession, don't want to waste too much energy up front, as Matthew has kind of been sitting in and just following ever since that attack on the uphill to the Road to Ruins, as you can see here. So back in with the women's racing, though, it looks like it's going to be 3 off the front here as they head into the Road to Ruins here. We do see Kona Bear and Kirsty. Actually, wait a second, is that correct there? I saw for a second Chris a minute and the others off in the front of them, but I think that was from the turn, actually, a little bit before here. So it will be Kirsty and Angmo, as well as Carrie Konebear off the front. 4.4 watts per kilogram currently coming from Kirsty, 169 beats per minute there, 153 coming from Angmo. Asperheim here on the chase with Kessels in tow, as well as Carissa Min putting out a quick little 7.3 watts per kilogram to try and hang on to the wheels. About to head into a downhill section here. We'll go ahead and give her a ride on. Now, she beaten at 186 beats per minute, but here's the thing. She beats all the way up into like the 200s as her max heart rate. So I think she's still got about 10 to 15 beats to work with before she's really in full-on suffer mode. Now, she's probably in a tempo to threshold effort at this point, but it looks like Asprime leading things out here. They're on the chase, 50 seconds up. I'm not sure they're going to be able to bring back Kirsty, Konebear, or Angmo. Only a 50-minute race or so for them, so they've got a little bit of racing to go. They got to climb out of the ruins still, but the climb may be a section where they could bring something back. Carissa is a strong climber, I believe, but it's going to have to be an all-out effort to bring them back before the line, I would think. I think the 3 out the front are gone. With 55 seconds, that's a huge gap to bring back, Quentin.
Yeah, 30 seconds is a huge gap, and even if it might be a little bit smaller in the uphill, I think it's still way too big, and it's 3 against 3, and it looks like the 3 strongest have gone on the front, and now it's going to be most likely a battle between the three riders, all Canaber and Engmo. Now the question is going to be, what is going to be Engmo's role in that? Is she going to help her fellow Norwegian, well, co-country women, I think, or is she going just to stay in the wheel and just get that first place in the B bracket? It's going to be interesting to see how she plays that one out. But Kirsty doesn't have too much pressure on herself, since she can only get the win, or like if she's second or first, it won't matter in the points. Same for Carrie, so they are just going to worry about who's winning the race, and I think it's going to be the same for Engmo. I mean, even if you race in the B bracket, you want to win that race anyway. So it's going to be a battle between the three, and they are going to start looking at each other maybe in a couple of kilometers, maybe once they are out of the ruins, once the gap is big enough. But it's definitely, well, it's going to be hard for Carissa, Hilde, and Fleur to come back.
Yeah, I don't think that. Well, they're holding steady here at about 54 seconds. I have a feeling the second it came to 30 seconds or less, though, you would see a kick from these other riders. But Kirsty is up in the 168 beats per minute here. A little bit calmer here from Asperheim. It looks like Kessel's there from Vixen. 169, though, definitely working. 187 from Carissa. But Angmo, yeah, you can see it in the heart rates here. Fairly calm. Not too much of work going on here, I think. Just holding on to the gap consistently and not attacking, as they do know that it's going to be a battle out of the ruins here. I have a feeling we may see things break apart a little bit as they exit the ruins. As we do see in the men's race, that is exactly what is happening. We'll jump back in with the women here in just a moment, but the attacks are starting at the front end of this race now. Now we can see in the mini map here in the upper right-hand corner where they are attacking toward, and this is the suspension bridge as they do finish up the climb here. And this is one of the key places, because you hit a 7% gradient very quickly. And if you punch hard enough over the top of this, you can carry a lot of speed over it and get away from the pack that you are with. And then you are about to climb with a right-hand turn back toward the mountain. And that is definitely a two-tier you can take advantage of with a lot of speed, as they did kick out of that 7% grade. As you can see, Kim Little now up on out of the saddle, 7 watts per kilogram quickly there, but some Selimanekov there right on it there, right along with Webb, Shum, Zhujian. Nobody going anywhere just yet. Everybody fairly matched up against each other. Nobody able to get away. And it looks like they were able to drop maybe 1 or 2 off here. Team PL here looks like going off the back there with Szerzynski, Davis as well, Pettinger, Vang, and it will be Ogier. It looks like this chase group was formed on the climb out of the ruins, so it looks like the attacks were full on coming out of the ruins there. Verhoeven also, another one who was dropped. Well, no, not dropped off, excuse me. We just had a little bit of a mix-up in the times there for a moment. Yeah. So he is up toward the front here, no problem. So they have been dropping riders one by one, though, it looks like here. 9th place currently for Zhujian. So 9 have made it out of the ruins into the lead group. 167 beats per minute, though, coming from Matthew here. And it will be Webb there, 147. Bojan here, 156. So they're definitely calming down after that attack out of the road to ruins. And definitely looking at each other a little bit, wondering who has the power for the attacks here. It may come down to a sprint, Quentin, which is a little surprising with the amount of climbing, but, you know, like we said, very punchy, and with how close these riders are in fitness, unless it's a longer climb, sometimes you can't get away.
Yeah, it's, well, like we said at the beginning, the climb comes very early in the race, and afterwards it's either not steep enough or just too short. And yeah, it's going to come down to maybe a sprint between these, I think, about 10 guys. Only 6 of them are registered to score points in the league. So it's very much looking towards being a duel between Kim and Matthew, because just 6 in the front, and in the top 5, the first one to cross the line will win this season.
Are you sure about that? You're
So
positive?
yeah,
Like the first one to
I'm
cross the
positive
line?
about that.
How does
First
that
one
work
to
out?
cross the
But
line.
they're separated by 3 points, right? Right
Yeah,
now?
but Matthew is streaming now, and he needs to be in the top 5. I mean, actually, for from the points they have, the max points Kim can score is 6,018, and the max points that Matthew can score is 6,016. So there's a 2 point differential. So if Kim's comes before
They could
Matthew,
be tied?
it will.
They could wait, they could be tied?
It could be tied, but if it's tied, it's the last position that matters. So if they're tied, it means that Matthew was before Kim, so he will win.
Oh my goodness. It really comes right down to this, everybody.
Yeah.
This is intense. This is for the win right
It's
here.
absolutely
I mean,
intense.
this is
8 weeks. 8 weeks coming down to a sprint. Eight
Oh my
weeks coming down
goodness.
to 15 seconds.
And
Maybe
you
the
can
most
see it here.
important
They
15
want it
seconds.
so bad. You can see
They
Team
want it
Experimental
bad.
here trying to make something happen here. Now we do have Solomonenkov here going off the front with Boshin and Webb. I wonder if they're going to follow, though. I mean, what's the tactic here? You got people in the race that don't matter to the race, that won't take points, but do you follow because you take the risk, but you know the Team Experimental is in the tow trying to work for Kim, and they'll bring it right back? And does Matthew just trust his sprint to the line? But he's tried to do that in the past, and Kim has had the upset here. Man, 8 weeks of racing, coming all down to this about who is going to get that invite to the live final in Los Angeles and battle it out for 100 grand. And we have got now there is still the second and third place all out battle as well. That will most likely go to, what is the current situation on that? So Chris Wonos is currently sitting in third. Tobo, they're sitting in fourth, but I think it's going to go to Chris Wonos. Correct?
Yeah, it's going to stay third. I tried to see who could win enough points to come back to him, even with a win, and nobody can. He's going to stay third, whatever happens today. So especially now that he knows he can't be second, given that he's actually in 16th position in the group for 13. So I mean, Chris Vonos is going to go to the postseason, and is going to battle out with either Kim or Mathieu, depending on today's results. And
I wonder who he would rather battle it out with, though. That's the question. Who would he rather battle it out with? And you know, this is getting interesting, because between these two, they are very strong riders, very experienced riders.
Yeah.
But when it comes to a head-to-head situation, there could be a serious upset that one of these two would not make it in because of that head-to-head battle. Team Poland showing up full on, ready to battle it out. I'm assuming Team Vision show up. I'm assuming Team Experimental would show up and support their rider. But again, there's other zones with other battles going on too. So it's going to be interesting in the next, in the postseason, to watch that battle for that second spot in Zone E. Will it be Zhujian? Will it be Shum? Excuse me. Will it be Kim Little? Will it be Zhujian? Will it be Kim Little for that spot, or will they be able to take the win here today? It's going to be whoever crosses the line first in the top 5. They have to make that top 5, though. We're coming into the final Ks here in just a moment. 13 minutes or so of racing probably to go, and the riders are going to take a left-hand turn here off toward the volcano and battle. Now, do they climb reverse Watopia, or they go back in the volcano? I'm actually forgetting.
No, they go back to the volcano, and
gotcha.
they do a couple of spins in the volcano, and then straight to the finish line. And I think it's maybe the most difficult way to go into this last sprint, because you have that little kick before you turn left, and that's always the point where you are a little bit torn between wanting to go and follow every attack that you can, or hold back and wait for the fast finish because you don't want to be too in front at the moment that the sprint is launched. So it's very tactical, a lot of mind games as well, and yeah, it's that sprint is maybe the hardest sprint that you can do on Zwift mentally. And
Yeah, that
now they
left-hand
are going
turn.
over the
Well, before, so here's the thing: before you do that sprint, though, leading into the Essies, when you do just regular Watopia forward, that's pretty difficult as well because those Essies just kick over and over again. But yeah, that left-hand turn, though, because of that left-hand turn, it is very difficult because a lot of people attack, just like for some reason that turn does something to people mentally, and it's just a full-on sprint from way out in the final case there. Now we are seeing with the women's race, they are exiting the road to ruins. As you can see here, we are tuning in with Kona Bear, it looks like here. 11 miles in, 28 minutes of racing so far. 155 looking strong. Not really under any pressure, as you can see. Kirsty Hodo now 169 beats per minute, still leading things out there. 152 here coming from Angmo. Still keeping it within about 50 seconds, though. Asperheim is here right along with Kessels and Carissa Min, trying to hold off Volbeck coming out of Norway. Then Burrows is about 23 seconds, 19 seconds now back from Volbeck. Then it will be Lindy Gray from Team Fearless now, battling it out for one of the top spots in the C category, just behind Jane here, 57 seconds back now. Getting a couple ride-ons, it sounds like, on my Zwift mobile link. That should be silenced, Nathan. Making some new moves here. Now we're seeing G Anchors here out there as well. 120 4 back there. Good to see her out there in the D category. Chasing down Sarah Watt there from Team Fearless. So that's the situation in the women's race here. Kirsty now looks like 2.7 watts per kilogram, but up into 171 beats per minute. I think there's been a couple of serious digs at this point, seeing that heart rate coming up so much here from Kirsty now. 3.7 now still. Are they trying to drop off the one or another? Are they in the attack a little bit? Because that's one of the higher heart rates we've seen from these riders, or it's just the climb maybe causing.
Yeah, maybe they're just a little bit tired from the climb. You don't have too many opportunities to recover in that ruin loop, and well, the climb is still pretty long, and yeah, you might be 5, 6, 7 beats higher than you would be at the beginning. So might be just the fatigue coming after the very long climb, and after the very punchy one before that. So yeah, maybe not a lot of attack, but they sure keep the pressure on each other because you have to keep the pressure on the other riders to show them you're still there, and to tire them as well.
So again, for everybody today, this is a ride for pride, essentially. Who is going to take the race on the day is what it's all about. The series is decided at this point. Carrie will be able to win for sure, and I think she's already won. I don't think even if she didn't show up today, I believe she would still take the overall series. But so today it's just about who is the winner on the day, and it looks like Ingmo and Kirsty do want to give her a little bit of a run for her money here on the single day race. Still battling out, so it looks like maybe a sprint between them, as there's nothing but downhills and the volcano left, and they haven't been able to drop each other off as of yet. So fairly calm though in the women's race. Now in the men's race though, the attacks are starting as they head toward the volcano. It was up into about 10 watts per kilogram as they went downhill into the old Italian village ruins there. They're trying to chase down Verhoeven, who is off the front there, 182 beats per minute, not going anywhere, I don't think. He was gaining up to about a 10-second gap, but looks like that's coming down very quickly as the riders start to attack. Zhujian did give a little kick, it looked like, that was responded to from Team Experimental on that downhill section, but it doesn't look like it went anywhere. Webb still hanging on there along with Solomonenkov. It will be Vonder, Vmail, Kim, Little Bolton, Verhoeven then getting caught, it looks like. And obviously Zhujian in their 9-rider still, looking for the win. Well, Shum here, he is well in the threshold, even over into his VO2 max at this point, working for his teammate. 180 beats per minute. Do you think he's just trying to make it fast? Is he just trying to make it? Is that what's going on here, Quentin? Like, why all of the effort right now? Just so that Kim is not put under pressure, perhaps?
Yeah, it's well, I think he wants to allow Kim to go for the win, and Verhoeven is very much in contention for the points, and I mean, they want to get as much point, but when you're a rider at that level, you also want to get the win. And Casey is doing his teammate job, his domestic job, by allowing Kim to be in contention for the stage win, basically. And bringing back Verhoeven is one way you have to go through to do just that.
We are getting some interaction here from Facebook over on Zwift Community Live's Facebook here. And Lulana Anthony is saying she can't believe the battle between Kim and Matthew comes down to the final sprint with a wow emoji on the end. She's also saying, go Carrie, riding strong, Vixen power. And Lindy, now I'm not sure this is a good question. My HRM stopped working during the race. So it was working prior to the race, then during the race. Wondering if she'll be DQ'd. I do not know the answer to that. Quentin might be able to help us in just a moment. We also have George Caldera coming saying, go Steve, go Bruno, go Pedro, go Rodney, go Ben, go PTZ. And Lulu is saying that she wants both the boys to win their zone. They're both hella strong and deserving. I'm kind of on that boat as well. Like, I'm very torn about this final right now, for sure, between Matthew and Kim. And John Newport saying, go Kim, Waterloo. All right. So we've got the people cheering on their favorites out there today. They're going to be coming into the final here in just a moment. Selmankov going off the front for a moment there, caught immediately. Now Zhuzhan counters into the volcano as things start to heat up. They are starting to burn the rubber now as well. Kim Little, they're hanging on. The battle between Zhuzhan and Little is starting already before the sprint even gets into action here. Selmankov now following it up. Vonder off the back there by about 1 second. Verhoeven following Bochen. V-Mail there as well. Casey Shum 4.4 watts per kilogram. Davis off the back trying to lead things out. 136 back in that chase group. Not going anywhere. Kim covers it and they look at each other again. The tactics are real. That is for sure. Quentin. Now Shum here. Going 10 watts per kilogram with a counter, though. Is he going to try and bring Kim with him? Adam Webb going 16 watts per kilogram. The left-hand turn's about to start. They're going into the final case here. This is going to be the final, 3 or 4 minutes of this race. Will there be an attack off the front? Looks like they're going to leave it to the final sprint. And the question now at this point is going to be all about who can time things perfectly, who can hang on to the right wheels at the right times, not let gaps go, who's got enough experience in Zwift racing to play it smart. Zhuzhan and Shum now at the back. Shum closing the door for Zhuzhan. Zhuzhan gets stuck on Shum's wheel. He has to close the gap at the most horrible time before the sprint even. He's got a 1 second gap and Kim sees it. 6.6 watts per kilogram. Will it be too early though? If he goes now and follows Webb, it might waste an effort because Zhuzhan though is off the back. 7 watts per kilogram, 175. He was looking for a draft, but no, it's not going to benefit him now as Shum closed the door. Oh my goodness, it looks like Kim Little might be walking away. Will Zhuzhan bring this back? But Kim is going to have to hold on a huge amount of watts all the way to the line here now. Adam Webb now suddenly in the front because Kim Little's gone into another dimension of watts. Hopefully we can hold on to it though. We'll have to see if we can find him back out on course. Hopefully it does not end up being a situation where we can't bring it in here. We'll have to see if we do have it. And it looks like it is going to be Adam Webb coming to the line. Zhuzhan is there. I'm not sure where Kim Little is. There he is on the front. No, swear. Oh, thank you so much. I'm just going to have to leave that one alone. So, no idea, you guys.
I have no idea what happened. What just happened just there, and that was weird. That was super weird, and I think Kim tried. He tried very hard, and I think he went too early. The move
I think
was
he went too
perfect.
early. I think he went too early. I think Zhujian might have
went
taken
too
it.
early.
We're not sure. That is probably one
And
of the.
I'm just waiting for confirmation in just half a second. We are going to see it in the official results, but I think Mathieu got it. We saw Solomenikov take the win in the sprint. So, well, that's for the unofficial win, I think. I think Solomenikov won the sprint at the end. Still to be confirmed. And yeah, Vidal Mel was up there with Boschen. And
Quentin is keeping Nathan from completely flipping out right now. Is what Quentin is doing. Just so you guys know, he's doing a really good job of keeping Nathan from just saying a lot of things that he just should not say. Okay, so Davis now sprinting to the line, 9 watts per kilogram. Szczynski, Steffen's there as well. Ogier there as well. And there we go. Great race, guys. Let's see who has the W at this point. Looking at the sprint there, it looks like it was Zhujian able to take it by a couple of spots, 38-36. And nice job to Zhujian there. It looks like he will be taking the overall win, barring any kind of issues from barring any, anything. We're gonna wait for official results from the race officials. But it looks like Mathieu Zhujian able to take down the win and will get the spot.
Well, not the win exactly, but
well, no,
actually
Alexander Bolshan, Vidar Mail, 1 and 2. Mathieu Zhujian takes third. Roel Verhoeven, Andres Vander, then Kim Little for 6. He went very early. It was almost like he got baited out, because Zhujian was off the back.
Exactly.
He was off the back, but he was able to close it down. And I think Zhujian just had that second kick. He was able to kick once.
He had the second
and able to kick again.
And I'm go out on the bed right now. But the move by Team Experimental was extraordinary because Mathieu knew that Casey was very strong and he trusted him to stay with the pack. And Casey did the sticker. He played the sticker at the back of the group, just dropping off meter by meter. And Mathieu was expecting to recover a little bit because he just attacked. So he got dropped a little bit. And by the time he was back in the group, Adam Webb had attacked at the front, almost baiting Kim with him. And then Mathieu just had to climb back wheel by wheel. And in the last sprint, it came down to who had draft. And Mathieu had draft, Kim didn't. And Kim had some, I think he had some technical issues as well. And because I didn't see him on my screen either. So it's not like the usual, like unfollowing or the usual bugs that we have following the race. I mean, I couldn't see them either from my view. So we might have to talk a little bit to Kim about that because to know what happened there. That was weird. But then
he was in the lead. He was in the lead for sure. And then
he was in the lead and then he disappeared.
Yep.
Yeah, like he had an internet dropout or something. It looked like an internet dropout. And I really hope that it doesn't come down to this. I really hope that it's not about the dropout and that he really had nothing left for that sprint. And well,
Carissa Min in here needs to calm down and focus on her racing. It looks like as she's chatting away. I think you're racing her bike right now, Carissa. And now 2.9 watts per kilogram. Asperheim Kessel's there as well. It looks like. Sorry to interrupt you there. I just want to make sure that we get in with the women's race here real quick, Quentin. As we do have Corner Bear climbing, Kirsty there, and Angbo.
Close to the finish.
Yeah, getting pretty close to the finish here. We want to make sure to see all the attacks as they come in here, but we'll get into the race analysis of what the heck happened in that final sprint, as we did lose the view there. I was really hoping to get a replay and some solid video of that final sprint. I mean, that was one of the most key moments of the entire series, watching what happened between them, and it was really unfortunate to lose that feed there. So I apologize to everybody out there about that. I know it's frustrating to a lot of the viewers out there. It's frustrating to us as well. So hopefully we'll get some solutions out there. I think we're working on some in-house solutions with ZCL that we might be able to work out. It's going to take a couple extra computers to make it happen, but I think that we can make it happen. So we'll get that going hopefully by this Thursday. I think we should be able to have something going on. Angbo here, it looks like here with Kona Bear, Kirsty, they're still off the front, and it looks like working well together. It looks about 110 though, able to open up about an extra 20-second gap to the chasers that are Asperheim, Chrisman, and Kessels, that they come into the final few meters now. And we are seeing funny comments here coming from John Vegan Saiga saying, real life dropout, where did he go? We are seeing Daphne Williams coming through about attention seekers there as well. Lots of fun happening. And we are seeing a couple more coming through here. And Lulu Lana says Kim Little's results screen said he was 8th and Matthew was 5th. Interesting there. I think, but Lou, the issue there with, I think it's because cycle data though removes anybody who cannot take the points from the results. Is that correct, Quentin? That the reason why they're showing up differently?
In the Zwift result, you will see everyone on course. In the CVR result, you are going to see only the people registered in your zone. So on the screen, they are going to see Solomenikov, they are going to see Casey Shum maybe a little bit behind. They are going to see Adam Webb, they are going to see Mike Davis. And they are not going to see these guys in the CVR results. And that's where the difference comes from. And yeah, that's just how it's explained.
So yeah, unable to take any of the points on the day, so they get removed from the overall there. Now on screen results in Zwift may be different, but the managers of the race officials manage it with their CVR manages it with their website, with in conjunction with Zwift Power, and then if it were another race series, they'd be managing it with that, with ZwiftPower.com. And so that's the reason why you're seeing that difference in the results there. So Angbo here now, as you can see, with Kirsty Kona Bear now into that left-hand turn, as you can see, when it's going to come down to this sprint here, 18 miles in, as you can see, 45 minutes of racing. The chase is on with Carissa Min. Now, Carissa, I think, is on the attack, perhaps. There was a little bit of a gap I thought I saw there. No, sitting in it looks like, so not going anywhere. So Angbo here, 3.2. Kirsty there as well. Kona Bear, 3.9 now coming around. Who's going to take the sprint? I think Carrie has a pretty solid sprint here. Let's hear your predictions there. Looks like Vixen, PTZ, Vision to the line. What's it going to be here, Quentin? I think Carrie's got a solid sprint. We're going to have to see. You're going to go with Kirsty. No bias there whatsoever.
No bias, but full confidence.
Full confidence in Kirsty for the win. We'll see if that's what happens here. And the two Norwegian rides up against the UK. Will Carrie be able to lead this out and take the sprint? Now, Anglo's starting to bump it up a little bit. Does anybody... No, there are... Now, we saw power-ups used today, I believe, on the downhill. You can use a power-up that you have in reserve. So there's no power-ups, I think, left, though, on the day here. Kona Bear 5.8 watts per kilogram trying to go, but here comes Kirsty Hole to the line. It looks like it's going to be Kirsty. Carrie trying to come back around, but Kirsty able to out sprint to the line. Solid effort there all around from the women. And now moving back a little bit, we should have a sprint playing out between Carissa, Min, and a few others. They were only about a minute back here. We'll see if we can find the riders as we do move back through the riders who are all logging in right now. And so this is probably one of the hardest sections to find anyone out on course. We'll see if we can do so as we move back. I've got a feeling we might miss them as they come through. Going through the list, we're doing our absolute best here. I'm seeing here Asperheim here right along with Min now. 4.9 watts per kilogram, 5 watts per kilogram now, still kicking. The riders are starting to be called around them now. Kessel's from Vixen starting to go. Will Chris Min be able to come by as she did out sprint on London? Last time we saw her, she's still coming through here. 9 watts per kilogram. Here goes Carissa. And that is like a photo finish. I'm not even sure. That was so incredibly close. Nice sprint there from Asperheim and Min. It looked like those two were the ones to watch out for. We didn't bring the camera maybe quite close enough. Let's go ahead and take another look at that. As they're coming to the line here, we have, it looks like, Asperheim 6.9 watts per kilogram. Carissa then with that final kick starts the orange numbers right into the final 100 meters. Carissa now 9.9 watts per kilogram. There it is. I believe it was Asperheim though. Carissa tried to give a final kick, but I believe Asperheim did have half a wheel length, maybe even a quarter wheel length on her. The Vixen rider then will be behind in that sprint. Solid result there. Now let's just double check though for the official results. And I am seeing
the
Kirsty
official
there.
result says Asperheim took the sprint for second place for a tenth of a second over Carissa.
That's amazing. And right, yeah, not, I mean, it's actually almost showing tied, like almost tied between the riders there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a very, very close sprint. 48-30, 48-30, 48-30 between them. And now we are seeing Kirsty here, Kona Bear and Sivo Ingmo, 47-25. And only, it looks like 100ths of a second, 200ths of a second there. Or excuse me, 2/10 of a second there between Kona Bear and Kirsty for that W. But Kona Bear will be taking the win for the series. She doesn't take the win on the day, but does take the win for the series. So solid job to her. And depending on whether or not she will accept the invite to the final is going to be the question then. Looking through the other results here, let's see what happened for the men in the top 10. It was then Peter Jasinski, followed up by Henrik Ogier, and then Daniel Pettinger, and Morten Vang there for the rounding out of the top 10. Again, Alexander Boutsen, Vidar Mail, Matthew Jujan taking the top 3, Rolf Verhoeven, Andrews Vander, then Kim Little for your 4th, 5th, and 6th place. Where was Chrysonos on the day? 22nd, maybe saving up a little bit.
Yeah,
not so much interested.
Might have had a kind of a bad day, I guess, or I don't see him in the results. So maybe a bit of technical issues. I would say. Yeah, I see him 22nd. Actually, there was a kind of a big group coming into the sprint, but yeah, it was it's ranked 22nd in the A bracket. So maybe just try to play a little bit of a teammate game for Trzynski, trying to give back a little bit on that last race. I mean, he didn't have anything to play for himself, so might as well help the teammate get 1 or 2 spots up in the rankings of the season. And even if they're not going to go to the postseason, being top 5 in the season ranking is always good. So might be a little bit of that, I guess.
Yeah. So I have a feeling, the motivation there to battle it out. Maybe a couple other races he's focusing on later in the week. He knows that he's got the spot solidified, showing up, see if he can throw down. But it's going to be a battle between Kim Little and Marcin Chrysonos for the head-to-head. That's going to be super exciting on the day, on those days. Now, are we starting right up next week then for the CVR World Cup? Right on into it?
I think.
Or is there a break?
I think the postseason starts next week. We next week we will have the second and the third of each zone going head to head with each other. So next week is going to be Kim Little versus Martin Chris
It's going to be
in the E zone.
interesting. We're going to
Going to
have
be
Team
very
Experimental,
interesting. Yeah,
Team Poland.
Team Experimental versus Team Poland. I mean, the it doesn't get any better than that. You have the very exciting season finale, and well, the postseason is going to be amazing as well. I mean, Team Poland Experimental are going to be battling for the first round, and then the other zone are going to come in the play as well. Zone E is going to battle with Zone F, and I believe in Zone F they are going to come across the Vision team somehow, because there's a couple of riders in contention for the playoff in that zone. So Vision or Draft, I think, as if I recall right, Casey is in the lead in the F zone and cannot be beat. So the playoff in the zone F are going to come down to a duel between Zimmerman and Creel. So Draft and Vision in the F
Oh
zone.
my goodness!
And
Wow.
This battle right here between Zone E and Zone F is going to be amazing in the next 2 weeks. We have 4 of the most active team these weeks going head to head with each other. Draft, Vision, Experimental, Team Poland. KRT might have a couple of riders in the other zones. I didn't quite follow a larger panel of zones, but these 4 teams are going to be very adamant in the next couple of weeks, and that's going to be amazing to follow.
So what is going on for the no bonus for the broadcast today, Lulan? Sorry, readers, about that. I'm loving the chat coming through over at Facebook here. So what is the current situation then in Zone F? And let's take a look at that real quick. Is that race is coming up here pretty quickly? What time does that race start at then? And
I think it's just in 2 hours. In exactly 2 hours in Zone F.
And so Casey Shum has walked away with that one. It looks like 6,022 points.
He walked away. Yeah, it was one of the few to stream. And well, behind him you got Zimmerman, you got Creel. Loisel is still very much in play, and it's 3 men for the 2 playoff spots. So
and then we have, it looks like, yeah, so Zimmerman, Creel, LaSalle. Oh my goodness, this is intense in Zone F.
It's very intense.
Oh my goodness.
And well, Zone G is going to be a fun one as well. You have Sorensen from Team Draft as well, and Nefkens from WBR. You got Dion still very much in play from Team 4i. I think one of Loisel's teammates as too. And they will be going up against Zone H. And in Zone H in the playoff, they might be facing Boniface and Team ODZ. And that's another duel that you don't want to miss, because these guys are going to be battling for the spot in the final with the guys in Zone E. And well, that's going to be one heck of a playoff. I mean, you got all the main teams. Well, the thing with Zone H is that in the 8, anyone can who is registered in that bracket, in that zone, can come out, win today, and be the one in 3rd place, because Boniface in 3rd place has only 1 race and 1,000 points. So if someone registered in that zone were to race and win today, he would be 3rd in the overall and going to the playoffs. So that one is still up for grabs for pretty much everyone.
So and, also in Zone F, looking at the women's race, there is a 1 point difference right now.
Yeah.
In the women's race, Claudia Baring, Alison Kubota. What's gonna happen there? That's the question. Like,
what's gonna happen here? I could tell you, but I'm not going to. That would take out all the fun.
Teammates. It's teammates.
They are teammates.
Yeah.
They have team tactics. They have raced against each other week in, week out, and it's coming down to this last week. Things happened in the team bus. Words were
Things happened in the team bus.
things
Oh,
happened,
wow.
and I'm not going to say that right here.
Yeah,
But
no, leave
we
it
know
alone.
how it's gonna
Leave it
go.
alone.
Exactly, but still a very fun race because, well, Claudia and Allison has been very much killing it in the A-Cat amongst the men in that zone, and that's pretty amazing to see. These girls have some power, and they've been throwing down, almost getting top tens in amongst the men and in the A category, and that's really awesome to see. And I'm very much looking forward to see how they will do in the postseason and in the event in LA. And yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that.
Let's see if there's any chatter coming on through from the Twitch chat or our Facebook here. We are seeing Veronovas here saying, who wins, Kim, Matthew, or Kim? Matthew pulled it off at the end. Kim Little went very early before the line, before the left-hand turn off of the volcano expansion area, because Casey Shum, it looked like Casey, like, I don't think it might not even been on purpose or anything. He was just slowing down after a lot of attacks all day. But Drujan was on a wheel that I think he thought he could trust, and then had to close this huge gap, kick very early. And I think because of that gap that was there, it was like, go, 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 Kim, you got this. But I have a feeling Drujan's sprinting experience, being a World Tour rider and all that, that is, you know, Kim's a mountain biker. He's got a solid sprint. He's got an amazing all-day threshold, huge VO2 max. But when you're a sprinter at World Tour, essentially it's like 3 kicks. It's the initial, get on the train. It's when the train really ramps it up, and then it's your sprint to the line. You got to be able to kick multiple times at huge wattage over and over again. And I think Matthew has more experience at those double kicks. I have a feeling, and was able to get across.
Yeah, someone has listened to Coach Handy a lot these past few weeks, it seems like. And, well, I talked a little bit with Kim after the race, and he said, yeah, I went too early. And it was all or nothing. And in that last kilometer, he followed Webb, and he basically went a little bit too early. And after that, well, Mathieu came back, and there was nothing he can do. And like he said, well, he said himself, the best man won. And, well, I have to argue that maybe the best man won, but they are tied. So I think we have 2 best men right here. And, I mean, 6,012.
They're tied?
They're
actually tied.
Yeah.
They're actually tied.
They're actually tied. So the best man won the series, and the only tiebreaker is the last race. And well, to be fair, if it was the number of wins, Mathieu would have come out on top as well. So any tiebreaker you choose, Mathieu was going to get that. So, I mean, it comes down to a tiebreaker.
I mean, a tiebreaker though, that's pretty intense.
It's traumatic.
That's intense.
A lot of trauma in that last race, and all the tension in that last kilometer, in that last kick. I mean, you were talking it out, but I was speechless. I was literally speechless. And if you have passed it to me, I wouldn't have said a word. I was into the sprint as much as the guys, and it was that intense that I have nothing to say. I had nothing to say at that time. It was way too intense to even talk about it. That's when you have 8 weeks of racing coming down to 1 kilometer. That's how hard it is on the nerves. And even Mathieu said it, told me afterwards, it was really on the nerves, and throwing everything that you had left. And it seemed that he had like just a little bit more than Kim, and it comes down to pretty much nothing.
The nerves in this world of virtual cycling, I want to speak to that for a moment, because you know, I get a lot of nerves in real life racing as well, but it's different here in some ways, because you can't look at the rider and know where things are at, and you have all this like guesswork a little bit going on, and so it gets a little bit more nervous in your head. Not so much like the pressure nervous that's coming in, at least for me, because I'm not racing in a race maybe that's, you know, whether or not I go to $100,000 prize pool though. So that's a whole nother story, but you definitely get that butterflies in the stomach going into the line. Let's take a quick look though at the women's sprint here, as we do have Lulu Lana saying thank you coming through. I know that she cheers on the Vixen riders a lot. Now this was the sprint to the line for the win to the Carrie there, who does take the overall, takes second today to, I believe, Kirsty with that final kick in the last 100 meters there, as you can see here. But Kona Bear there, I believe does take down second place there on the day. So solid sprint there between them in the orange numbers. The Angmo there taking third place amongst the women. So solid sprint there. And nice job to Kirsty on the win for the day, but great job to Kona Bear there for taking down Zone E for the women's CVR World Cup today. So nice job to Kona Bear, and hopefully we'll see her at the final in LA. I think, Quentin, are you heading over there? I think we're heading.
There was some rumors that I was going to be there.
Rumors. There's rumors.
There's
a rumor train about Quentin and whether or not he's going to LA.
There was rumors, and well, yeah, I'm going to be there the first day in the afternoon and maybe the second day in the morning, depending on how much I sleep tonight. And but yeah, I should drop by there. I mean, I will be around, and so I should well, at least stop by to say hi to the guys. That the very least I can do, and I very much want to check out the Los Angeles Velodrome and see how it compares to Paris.
Sounds good. Sounds good. We'll have to see if I can get over there. So, all right, time to get going. Thanks everybody for tuning in. All the viewers over there, as over at Twitch, YouTube, and our Zwift Community Live Facebook. We'll be back tomorrow for all of the craziness that is a Wednesday out on Zwift. One of our busiest days for live streaming. SCR, Workout Wednesdays, all kinds of stuff going on. So, and then of course the Kiss Race Crit Series on Thursday. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Quentin, appreciate all of your help today as well.
Well, thank you, and well, I guess I'll see you on Thursday.
Yep, see ya on Thursday. Sounds good. Well, yep, no go for SCR. So yeah, we'll see you on Thursday, Quentin. So thanks everybody for tuning in, and as always, right on.